Casey's Audio Vault.
Jason Hook from Five Finger Death Punch.
March 30th, 2011.
Hi, buddy. Something was going on with the phone there, but I think we're good now.
I think we're good after a few false starts. Well, where are you today?
I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Is that home?
Well, it is now, yeah. I used to live in Los Angeles, but most of the guys migrated out to Vegas because the real estate market here, the prices are incredible. So everyone bought these houses, and so I was the last one to sort of follow suit, you know?
Are you in your new place?
I'm still waiting. We're probably a couple weeks off.
So where are you today? You're wandering the streets of Vegas?
You know what? This is all very good questions. I'm temporarily renting a house with my two cats and my girlfriend, and I call it squatting. We're squatting here waiting.
So two cats. What are your cats' names?
Mr. Farnsworth and Gibson the Explorer.
Those aren't silly at all.
No, I know. Well, I play Gibson Explorer, so I figured that was suiting. And I was thinking about calling the other one. The Mr. Farnsworth was supposed to be Marshall the Stack, but it didn't sound as good.
It didn't take. So that's Mr. Farnsworth. That is a Austin Powers reference, I guess.
Is it? I don't even know. I just thought it was a cool name. Is it Austin Powers?
I think I've heard that once before, and I was sort of going out on a limb there, so I thought maybe you'd know.
Oh, that's Mr. Bigglesworth.
Oh, okay, then maybe yes.
Right? I think Mr. Farnsworth might be from SpongeBob. Somebody told me one time. I can't remember.
Okay. Well, you're a Canadian.
I am.
Where did you grow up?
Born and raised in Toronto. Well, actually, I say Toronto, but the truth is, born in Toronto, Toronto General Hospital, grew up in a town called Oakville. Oakville is kind of a few miles outside of Toronto, on the west, heading west.
And what do you remember from Oakville? Hours of practicing your guitar?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I took private lessons there growing up, went to school there, and then realized that, if I wanted to try to connect with some bigger situations, I better relocate to Los Angeles, which I did successfully, and farted around there for a little while, and here I am.
Which songs were you trying to learn at the very early times when you picked up a guitar?
This is awesome because I was listening to Q107 in Toronto. They had the top 10 at 10, and the songs that I would learn, I was learning "Last in Line" by Dio was a big one. They had "Knocking on Your Back Door," Deep Purple, stuff like that. I'm dating myself here, but you understand where I'm coming from.
And then at what point did you make the move to the States?
Well, I had a band in Toronto. My band was playing with, our friends were guys like Slick Toxic and Svengali, those kind of bands. And we got a record deal out of New York with Elektra, my band. And so I moved to L.A. in 1993. Actually, it was down in 1992 to make the record, and then when we subsequently got dropped right after we submitted the record, which was devastating. But then I decided, well, I better move right back to L.A. and pick up where I left off. So I moved down there in 1994 and played with a myriad of people: Alice Cooper, Vince Neil, some other pop type gigs and stuff, and then landed here.
How did you like the life of a hired gun?
Well, it started off great. For the first time in your life, you're making some real cash, and you're seeing the world, staying in fancy hotels, playing to big audiences, blah, blah, blah. But at the same token, it's kind of like you're sitting front row to this great success, and you're feeling what it feels like, but it has nothing to do with you, and that's a pain at the same time. So it's kind of like, you see what it could be like, but then you kind of want it for yourself. That's how I felt anyway. So it's like, okay, I get it. This is awesome, but now I've got to get out of it and try to create it.
Did you work with Mandy Moore and Hilary Duff as well?
Yes, I did actually. When I moved down to Los Angeles, I made a pact with myself that I wasn't going to work any regular jobs. I was going to do only music and whatever that meant. So I just started playing guitar with anybody and everybody that wanted to get together and make music. And then eventually somebody said, I know that Mandy Moore is looking for an acoustic guitar player. You'd be fantastic for it. And so I went and auditioned and got the gig. And all those situations, although they don't have much to do with Five Finger Death Punch, they all taught me something that I was able to bring with me on an experience level. And so I don't regret one bit of it. I actually, my outlook is like learn, grow, and prosper. So I learned a lot. I met some nice people. I had some fond memories and got to play guitar, and it was all good for me.
Your story sounds familiar to Winnipeggers. A Canadian moving down to LA, relocating to Las Vegas, working with Alice Cooper, with Vince Neil. I'm wondering, do you know a drummer by the name of Brent Fitz?
Well, you beat me to the punch, actually, because I was just going to say, I was just going to ask you the same thing. Because one of my dearest friends, he's my boy, and he lives in Vegas. That's part of the reason why I was anxious to be here, because I have a couple friends here, and Brent being one of them.
That's cool. That's a pretty neat connection.
Yeah, well, Brent actually got me into the not the Alice gig, the Vince Neil gig. So we spent 2 or 3 years together, rocking with Vince together, and then he left to do Theory of a Dead Man, and I went off to do some other stuff, and then I was in Alice Cooper's band and got him. I helped get him into Alice's band for a short period, and then we're very tight.
So for you, does it feel like you've found your spot with Five Finger Death Punch?
Yes, 100%. I mean, I just wanted to have my own. Well, I wanted to be in a band where we're all shooting for the common goal, and that everybody has a role. We split. We split everything equally. I'm an equal partner, which was really nice for me, because when that band was started before I came along, and so it was nice to be welcomed in on that level. And I'm prepared to work hard, but I also want to have a role and be accepted as a member.
So you guys almost done recording? Or are you just in the last few days here?
Well, we're about halfway through. We started the record in beginning of February, and it comes pretty naturally for us. We're well acquainted with the creative process, and it's not too much of a struggle, and so we're kind of just working through it. Our producer just won his 3rd Juno for mix engineer, Kevin Churko. He was just in Toronto at the awards.
Very nice. You got some big names behind you.
Yeah. No, life is good.
Any idea on a release date, or is that too far away? You were thinking maybe spring or something like that next year? Or?
No. We're targeting to be finished up with the record. We're targeting end of May, and then the release will probably be something like August, September.
And when are you going to have time to finish up your second solo disc?
Dude, you did your research. I love it. Well, and everyone keeps going, what's up with you and your second solo record? The truth is, it's like 99.5% done. But since joining Death Punch, we're working hard all the time, and it has been difficult to find somebody to help me mix it. But I think that as soon as I'm done with this, I'll be trying to scoot that together and get it out there.
And are you going to fit any Five Finger Death Punch tour dates, any concerts at all this summer?
Oh, yeah. Well, not so much. We're not going to do any sort of, official tour, but we are doing a bunch of, one-off weekend fly dates, festival dates, towards fall. And then I think what we'll do is we're going to spend some money and put together a massive stage show with a ton of production, and we're going to set up some long campaign for either early 2012 or late 2011.
Canadian radio, a little bit slow on the uptake with Five Finger Death Punch. Bad Company only just recently hit top 10 on the charts, whereas it was a huge hit last summer in the States. Does it feel good getting recognized by Canadian radio?
Yes, it does. And I specifically asked the record label if I could do the Canadian phoners, because I've sort of taken it on personally to try to increase exposure for us up there, because it's important. Canada growing up there, there's a lot of diehard music fans up there that just don't have, the things sort of filter up there a little slower. And I know what it means to Canadians to fall in love with something and then actually have the opportunity to see it live or to hear it, hear interviews on the radio and stuff like that. So I'm personally pushing to have more visits, more tours, more presence in the country. And I don't know if you guys are on Far From Home yet, but that's like number 3 down in the States. And that was the follow-up to Bad Company.
Okay. Yeah, we're still Bad Company's still on the way up, so we're a little bit behind.
Yeah, that's okay. As long as you maybe like if you would spin Far From Home after that, maybe it would also be a nice follow up. But like I said, by the time you guys are getting to Far From Home, we'll probably have the new single out.
I appreciate you giving us a phone call, and hopefully we can see Five Finger Death Punch pretty soon.
My pleasure. Yeah, and like I said, I'm pushing for a full Canadian campaign. I think it's just a question of when. It'll definitely happen.
Well, next time you see Brent Fitz, tell him Power 97 says hello.
Dude, I will. I love the Fitz. Dude, he's my boy.
All right, take care, man. Have a good day.
Thanks, buddy.
All the interviews you want on iTunes and at power97.com. Casey's Audio Vault.
Casey Norman is Power 97's music director and can be heard every weekday from 2 till 6 in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada.
Power 97 is Winnipeg's best rock.